What's going on, and welcome back. So last week I told you that I am going to have a new daily. The title says another new daily, so I'm going to tell you about it today. So I just walk out in front of the road, mate. Now the car in question is a 1.4 8 valve Volkswagen Lupo, and I have a little bit of explaining to do, but first I'll tell you how I come about buying it. Well, or maybe not how I did. So some of you may know, in February of this year I got made redundant. What you don't know is, at the same time, so did my mother. So don't worry, she's since found a new job and that, but she wants like a runaround so that we're not stretching the Astra between them two, which is obviously, as you know, my dad's car. Big John in the building. So she said, Jack, I want a car. You are the resident car idiot, along with my dad. My dad was looking at Lupos. So I said, hold on, hold the phone. I know where there's one for sale. And in a minute you'll know where I got this car from if you watch a lot of UK car YouTube. This car was actually owned by BillyRS, who is a friend of mine from YouTube. Lovely guy. I'll leave his link in the description if you like MX-5s and stuff like that. Sorry, I'm holding the wheel like a complete dickhead, but I was just trying to move around and talk. And I remember that I used to watch the videos on this, and I thought, oh, I wonder if Billy's still selling it. So obviously I approached him saying, look Bill, have you still got that Lupo? Is it still for sale? Obviously, yeah, it was, because I bought it. And he says, yeah, it was. So my mum and dad went down, they bought it from where he lives. All is well. So they brought it home, they were happy with it. I'm not going to say it's been the most perfect car, but obviously you're buying a car that's not been used for a year. So I'm not holding any of this against Billy. It's not his fault these things happen. But all being said, for a car that's been off the road for a year, not moved, it is really good. We haven't really had any massive problems. It overheated on the way up from the south where he lives back to our house. It did overheat, so that's fine. But apparently that's quite a common problem on these. And it's the coolant temperature sensor. It was fucked. So we took it to Bellmans in Sheffield. Their link's also down below. Good friends of mine. Obviously you'll see the mechanic is my friend Tom, who comes down quite a lot and helps me. And I pay copious amounts of money in reach arounds to pay for the services, so you're welcome. And they did it, they checked it over, everything was fine. The other thing was the passenger window would not work. Because it had been sat for a year, the motors tend to oxidise, so all it needed was a bit of gentle persuasion and it worked again, it freed it up. So that now works. But the other thing was the bulbs. The bulbs were absolute shit. You couldn't see anything. I don't know how they drove it back at night on the motorway with it. It was shocking. So it's had like an LED front light upgrade from Night Eye, which Bellmans supplied and fitted for me. And as you know, as I keep saying, the Golf's nearly done, and I had the BM, and this is before I even put the BM up for sale. I said, just check your insurance please and see how much it would be to put me on it. Obviously me being quite young, they tried it with the Astra and it put it up another £1,000. So they tried it with this Lupo. It was about 150 for them, bearing in mind Big John and my mum. They're not spring chickens, so they get cheap insurance, about 150 quid. But to put me on it, which was quite surprised, ended up being about 380 quid for the whole year, which is pretty good. So I said, I'll pay the difference. I'll pay the £20 a month, and then I'll use it until the Golf's done. But I might now be using it longer, because me telling my insurance for the Golf, which I'm now trying to reinsure, that I'm not using it daily and it's just like a toy car, like a weekend car, it's lowered it quite a bit, which I was really happy with. But then when the Golf's done, I'll be using this a few days a week and the Golf a couple of days a week. Obviously for like shows and stuff, it's going to be the Golf. It can only be the Golf. So So this is it. It's a 1.4 as I said, and it's anthracite grey, which is a really nice colour. I'm sure it's pretty uncommon. I know it's really rare on the GTIs. So let's have a look at it. Standard VW in that the rear badge has fallen off. We've got a Bellmans sticker, bird shit, some little copper knob, bigger than my copper knob on the Golf. That's like an actual tail, mine's more like a bee sting. Interior wise, it's alright. I'm not a big fan of the seats, they're not that comfy. Feels like your shoulders are about here, and obviously your head's about here. And I feel like a bit like Mr. Incredible in this car, to be honest. We have got some carbon fibre wrapped bits on the doors. You can see them. Bare CDs and a co-op bag. Black badge. Also, which I forgot he actually installed, was a dash cam, which is nice. So that'll catch some good footage for maybe. So interior wise, it needs some adjustments. Because if I get in and demonstrate with my meat cannon legs, oh yeah, paraplegic in there. Get my milk bottles out. The wheel is way too big. It's like built-in fucking lane control. When you're trying to like change gear, it just like your legs like kind of hold the wheel there. Now this isn't a perfect car, obviously. It has like a little crack in the front bumper over there. But the main thing, which makes it kind of irritating to drive sometimes, is the reverse gear. It just does not want to go in. That's like full force. There you go. It's literally every time you put it in, it's either like a bit further forward or a bit further back. So when you're trying to do quick manoeuvres, it's not the best. But it's manageable for a daily. Obviously it's a little car, not that slow. 82,000 miles. I can't really get the GoPro in there because of the pum-pum at the top. I didn't even know VWs had these. It's like an extra little sun visor. That's sick. I didn't know I had that until I saw this. But to be fair, it's a good little car. It's alright to potter about in. Obviously I've been up to Sheffield in it, it's fine. It's just, it could do with a Momo wheel, which I've approached them about, but they want the airbag. A balloon apparently won't do, so get that right. So they're being a bit silly with me. We've actually got new wheels for it though. We've got the split rims from a 6N2 GTI. So they're like 16 inch and they're 13s, so they make a massive difference, and they will look quite nice. So I'll film that. I'll just kind of tell you when it happens. They just want to get them refurbed first because they picked them up cheap and they were pretty damaged. So with a refurb they'll be bang on and it'll look sick. This is just another quick one to show you what I'm driving about in now. The Golf rebuild videos where me, Tom, and I've had other friends down like Matt, he came around and helped on like the part 2 bit, so we've got another part 3 and then a part 4, and then I might not do them like that. I'll just sort of tell you what it is and you'll just kind of get the idea. But this is this. I'm happy with it. My mum seems happy with it. So yeah, if you did enjoy, leave a like. Look out for more stuff on this. Check out Billy. And that's it. Comment down below what you think of it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, guys. Don't blink, they won't even miss.